wanted to join y'all. I love the idea of the trinational uh, unions being here. We're in the same hemisphere, um, and we're all fighting the same fight for the workers in education. And I fear that we, in some iteration, will be fighting the same attacks on public education uh, from the same um, empire-driven fascist regime, um, because I think it does not know a border. I would have hoped that it did. I would have thought that this would be a uniquely um, um, North American or United States issue, but it's not because there's a particular company whose motto used to be "move fast and break things," and I think that's how it's doing to everything, right? But we all know that because we are all from stolen land. We're all from colonized places. And so this idea of empire uh, moving quickly and destroying things in order to get to extract what it wants is not anything new. I'm Marcia Howard, and I have been an English teacher since 1998 in Minneapolis. Before that, I was a Marine, and I can't believe that those two identities um, are providential in what's happening right now. In 2020, my student recorded the lynching of George Floyd 263 steps from my front door. I deliberately bought a house in the neighborhood in which I taught because I wanted to be able to see my students in my neighborhood, at the church, at the corner store. And when a black man was killed by police in broad daylight, and it was filmed by my student, I came outside and I stayed outside. And um, I didn't go back to school that year or the next year. I had been teaching at that time about 22 years, and I had 22 years worth of sick leave, and I took it all. Okay. And then when it ran out by that spring of the next year, my union marched into George Floyd Square, which was and is an autonomous zone that we took. We took them streets and said, we ain't leaving until they give us something that looked like justice. My union said, we'll pay you to be an organizer, and they continue to pay my paycheck. So this union and National Educators of America and American Federation of Teachers, the overarching union, paid for me to stay outside. And I think that is something that has helped us now because our members in our community since the uprising of 2020 knows how to stand up for each other. They do. They do. Um, we knew how to do mutual aid. We knew how to do, uh, field medic, street medic, because we had Black Hawk helicopters going over our head when we were in defense of Black lives. So not for nothing in 2022, when Minneapolis Federation of Teachers, we've changed our name since then, but Minneapolis Federation of Teachers went on our first strike in 51 years, a historic strike. Um, I told them, no, y'all got to know we are the basement of Canada in Minnesota. It's mostly white women are the people in my union. um, it's a racialized and feminized profession that I teach in. Okay. But I told these women, if you've been on these streets marching for brown lives and Black lives, you can march for yourselves. And that's what they did, which is how we won our strike in 2022. And I said all that to say this. They are now on our street attacking our students, attacking the families that we serve. And all they care about are the color of people's skin and accents. And they messed up because they thought that they could do this in a white city, in a white state. And they don't know what they have done for us by what they are doing to us. They are letting us show the world that in Minnesota, you do not come for our neighbors. You are not going to just take people out of the street and disappear them without us standing up and putting our lives on the line every single day. Whatever you have seen in the news about what's happening in Minneapolis, in the Twin Cities, it's worse. It's worse. It's worse. I have lived 52 black ass years in the United States of America. My mother went to segregated schools until she was 15 years old. My father could not vote when he turned 18. I am the first fully realized American citizen of my lineage of 200 years in this nation. And I am telling you, whatever you've seen on the news about Minneapolis, it's worse. They know about what I've done at George Floyd Square. And now that I've gotten a little bit of power as a union leader, they attacked a school. There are what, 70 schools. Which school did they attack? Mine. My high school. The one that I teach in. And they arrested a black man, American, a citizen, on the street, a father and a wife and their 6 children coming from a school basketball game, and they threw a flashbang into the car. The car goes into the street. The car, the van, all the children in the hospital. They are our members, Minneapolis Federation of Educators, paraprofessionals, the father and the wife. And it's a black family because they thought that they were going to have another 2020. They thought the black people were going to be in the street and burning things, and they forget we're not mad at the city. We're mad at the federal government. So what we're doing, black and brown and white and native, we're out in the street with nothing more than a whistle and our phones. And we're stopping them. We have been able to stop them from taking people. We call it de-arresting, snatching people and bringing them back. And if we can't bring them back, we quickly raise money to get them out of federal custody. And in the meantime, families that are sheltering in place, hiding in basements, hiding in attics, sound familiar. We are feeding. Teachers have, it's us, it's my members. Every day we're doing grocery runs, we're feeding people. 40 to 50% of the students in the district, they're hiding, they're sheltering in place. Whatever you think is going on in Minnesota is worse. It's worse. I have to sneak around, like to go to someone's house and hand them something, but I don't know if I'm followed. We train people to write addresses on paper, and if they get caught, like, And so what we're doing is understanding why, and we know why. Our governor ran against our president, and the other reason why is because we have such a progressive um, political system. We're very uh, egalitarian, democratic. Uh, we in Minnesota, we like immigrants. We do. We have one of the highest percentage of Liberian communities, Somali communities. A huge Latino community has just come since the 2000s. Like it went from 2% to now in Minneapolis, like 20 to 30% of our student body. We had a student decline until the Latino community came, and then they raised our ratio up, 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 and now it made our they're mad. They're mad that we're not mad. They hate us because we don't hate each other. That's why. That's why. And they can stay mad because they're not going to win, not in Minnesota. We know our neighbors. Someone tried to troll me and said, "Do you know who you're fighting for?" Yeah, I know their names. And even if I don't know their names, this is Minnesota where it gets so cold that one thing that we know is that if you see a car in the snow, you stop and you help that car out the snow. I don't care what political bumper sticker is on your car. What we know in the frozen north is that that's a human being and you can die in this type of weather. For 5 months out of the year, you can die in this type of weather. And so you help your citizen, your neighbor, your friend, you help anybody. And they don't even say anything. It could be a grumpy old man. They will help you out of the snow and nod and go back in their car. And so if extraterrestrials were to come down or zombies were to come down, and apparently if federal agents were to come, we're going to help our neighbors. They picked the wrong state to fuck with. And what I want all of Empire to understand is it's not just this state. I want them to think they picked the wrong nation. I want them to think they picked the wrong continent. I want them to think they picked the wrong hemisphere. I want us to all get to know our neighbors and pick something worth defending. As for me, it is the lives of Black and Brown and Indigenous people. It is public education. It is workers. That's what I feel worthy of defending. And that's why we still stand. I'm about to do an action against a corporation who's working for ICE. So I got to go like hide my appearance and go undercover right now because we're about to do an action. I might go to jail today. So yeah, we don't know. I don't know if you have any questions, but I just wanted to share what we're doing. It's mutual aid. It's knowing your neighbors. It's understanding that it's not transactional. I'm not fighting for somebody in the hopes that they'll fight for me, for Black lives later. I'm fighting because they are me.
Thank you, Marcia. That's very powerful. Before we go to questions, can I just ask how much time you have left so we know?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Uh, I just got to pretend to shop for a while. What time do I have?
It's almost 3 o'clock.
It's almost 3. I got more time. I got like 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Mariluz has a question.
See?
Adelante, Mariluz.
Ya, muchas gracias, Marcia.
Thank you, Marcia. Thank you very much,
Ha
Marcia.
sido conmovedor
It was really
conocer la
moving
lucha
to know the
de
fight
los estadounidenses de
of the people in the
Minnesota,
United
las
States in
estadounidenses de
Minnesota, the
Minnesota.
people in Minnesota.
Y bueno, tuvimos
And
oportunidad, y
we had the
aprovecho que aquí está
opportunity
Janet,
and take advantage that Janet is
gracias
here.
a Janet porque
Thanks,
participó
Janet,
en
because
una
she participated
sesión
in a
del
session
frente que estamos formando en
in the
México
front that we're
con sindicatos y
creating in
trabajadores.
Mexico with
Se llama
unions and
Frente
teachers.
Popular y
Is
de
Popular
Trabajadores
Front of Workers,
Antiimperialista y
Anti-Imperialist
Antifascista,
Workers,
y
Anti-Fascist
ella
Workers.
nos
And
ayudó.
she helped us.
Ya tuvimos dificultades
So we had some
técnicas en ese
technical
momento
difficulties
para
at the
transmitir
moment to,
en imagen,
um,
pero ya difundimos
but
el
we
speech que nos envió y
shared her
todo lo
speech.
demás.
We translated
Muchas
it
gracias.
and
Yo
everything
tengo
else.
una pregunta.
So thank you very much.
La
So I have a
pregunta
question.
es
The question
si,
is if
a partir de esta lucha tan
from
importante
this very important
y estratégica
struggle and strategic
en la
struggle
resistencia
in the
frente a
resistance
este imperialismo
against this
neofascista que
imperialist
estamos
and
sufriendo
neo-fascist
todos en el
regime that
mundo,
we're
todas,
facing in the world.
ustedes están
You
buscando
are
una
trying
articulación, un
to find
trabajo
any
unitario
connection,
con
a
otros
community connection with other
sindicatos de
unions,
trabajadores de
work
educación, de
of
trabajadoras
education
en educación
workers
en Estados
in the
Unidos
United
y
States,
vínculos
and links
internacionales.
and international
Y esto
links,
está en su
if that's
horizonte.
part of the things that you're looking for.
Hago muy rápido.
So I'm
La
going to do a
pregunta
brief
es
summary.
si
So
a
the
partir
question
de
is
la
if
experiencia de lucha
from
que
the
ustedes han
experience of a
realizado,
struggle that
están
you're carrying
considerando
out, you're
tener
taking into
articulación
or you're
autoritaria
thinking of
con otros
having any
sindicatos
connection with
de
other unions
trabajadoras,
of
trabajadores de la educación
education
de
workers
Estados Unidos
in the
y
United
también
States, but
con
also
articulaciones
some
internacionales.
links to
Si eso
international
está
unions, if
en
that's
su
something
horizonte.
that you're thinking about.
Now I feel silly because I did understand.
Oh,
I do. I have been connecting probably twice a week online with other unions across the country. We are in sessions preparing for the eventuality of ICE and Customs and Border Patrol coming to their city, like Denver, Colorado, Los Angeles, where they have never left, even Maine, which I thought was the whitest state on earth. Chicago, they are still there, even though the commercial journalists don't cover that as much. Louisiana. I even went to Puerto Rico, and there's ICE there. It's going to be important that we all stay vigilant because ICE, which is only a 23-year-old institution, is not for immigrations and customs enforcement. It's not. ICE is a militia using American tax dollars that is now the president's own. I used to be a United States Marine, which is the fighting force that the President of the United States can use without an act of Congress declaring war. Now ICE is that fighting force. He can declare war on any American city or neighboring country using people he has hired after a 6-minute interview. I swear to God. they have a budget of a taxpayer money that's bigger than most countries' military budget. And I fear that if we abolish ICE, as we are asking right now in Minneapolis, then it will become obvious that they were never supposed to be a force for the government, but a private army. It will become apparent what has been created from white men from the KKK, the Proud Boys, the Boogaloo Boys, the January 6th insurrectionists, and yes, a lot of Latino Border Patrol boys who will be summarily kicked out as soon as this happens. I am an English teacher. I've read this story already. We all have. So when I ask people to prepare. Mamas, don't let your little babies grow up to be ICE agents.
Thank you, Marcia. Does anyone else have a question or comment? And if I don't see everyone on the screen, so if your hand is up and I'm not calling on you, feel free to jump in. If not, I do have a question. First, I want to say how much respect we have for the people in Minneapolis. Many people in Canada and I suspect in Mexico are following on a daily basis what is happening, both on the mainstream news and with direct clips and things that people are sharing from the streets of Minneapolis. And it's something that I think has really inspired us all. And with that, it has also inspired us to want to be able to support in whatever ways we can the resistance that is taking place there. And as educator organizations, we particularly want to know how we can provide support to the school communities. So the question, I guess, I think our the representatives from the U.S. organizations at the meeting are already fairly clear on this, but for those of us in Mexico and Canada, are there ways that we can provide support, whether it's material or moral? If so, please share them.
I think the moral support is very important because the Overton window is being moved to make this seem normal. Okay, what if ICE leaves? Then will police say we will only treat Black people and Native people like this? You should be happy that we're not shooting white people in the face again. I'm not fighting this hard to get back to 2025. Police brutality should be wrong, period. So talking about the lawlessness of the United States should be everybody's goal. I need to demystify and chip away whatever gilding that the United States had. It needs to go. This place. Uh-uh. Not at all. Not at all. The dream is dead, y'all. It's no. Mm-mm. People need to look at our nation very open-eyed at what we're doing to Venezuela, what we have already done to Mexico, what we have attempted to do to everyone around the world, and view us with open eyes. Clearly, everything that the United States has done to indigenous and Black people, they turned around and tried to do to everybody else, and then reversed that and did that back to us again. And until we give up as a nation that goal, and by the way, private equity is part of that. That's capitalism consuming itself. Then it's going to tear away anything that we thought was good ever, including public education. Nothing will be safe, not even our relationships. Because if the right can look at Greenland with avarice, why wouldn't he be looking at Canada the same way? If they can look at Venezuela and say, that's mine because you got something that I want, why wouldn't he look at Mexico the same way? I've been to Mexico. It'd make a nice little resort town, wouldn't it? The whole country ripe for the picking. Because who's going to stop him? And I say him, but I mean them. But they let him be the face of it. Yeah, whatever you're thinking is worse. Now, here's the hopeful part. He just one man. And he can't whoop my ass. He can't. Can they subpoena my husband's bank records? Huh. I don't cheat on my man or my taxes, so fuck him. He just tried to sue my school district. And he attacked my school and beat up 3 of my staff. But fuck him. He just shot my comrade in the face and then killed the nurse who treated me after I had a stroke at the and killed him. Yeah. And he only killed him because we had a very successful parade, even though it was 20 degrees below zero outside. So not even 24 hours later, he killed Alex Preddy, had him killed. They already knew who he was. They already knew he was a lawful gun owner, like everybody else, because it's America, because it's, the United States. But we're still outside. The very next week, we had another parade that had about 50,000 people. So fuck him. We still stand, and we will continue to stand for justice. And more than that, we're going to find a way to be ungovernable. We are not waiting for the government to save us. We are not. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. We do. It's the only way. You got to get to know your neighbors and know who and what you're fighting for. And then each day, get up, fight. Next day, get up, fight. Is what you got to do. They hate us because we don't hate each other. They hate us because they ain't us. Because they don't want to love each other. They don't. Too bad. Too bad. They should. It feels good. It feels nice. They call it Minnesota nice. And I used to make fun of it, but it's saving lives right now. It really is. It really is.
So maybe we can squeeze in one more question.
Mhm.
I think
Also, Steve, I did put a link to our link tree for all of our schools that are taking donations if people want to donate money. But I also know, having been to like Oaxaca, Mexico, that, there are places in the tri-national that are worse off than us. So like, that's if people want to donate money and have extra to spare for families in our community. But that link is in the chat, but we're not like pushing that, or, knowing that people are in worse off situations.
thanks,
So I hope
Jeanette.
that helps.
It can also be useful for us to share on the social media the tri-national, for in addition to the organizations, if there's members that feel that they want to do something, that are watching and want to
Turn
do.
my volume on.
Go ahead, Rosemary.
In terms of moral support, I think we could do what we've done before, have different unions get together, communities, and make videos that can be sent and shared with the teachers there and with the community. I think that would be a way to people see how much support there is out there. And then sometimes we do, as the Tri-National, have webinars that we could have speakers like yourself come and be part of that. Because there's a movement now, I understand, that headed by Mariluz has been involved with in Mexico to start a united front against fascism and imperialism.
That
So-
would be amazing, especially if there could be some Spanish language ones. We have a lot of staff that are bilingual and that their first language is Spanish in Minneapolis. And they're going through it, y'all. They really are. And in their tireless efforts to protect children and families, sometimes people forget that they have children and families, and they have to stay at home too. Sometimes they shelter in place, and it's horrible.
And I think with some of our, we have a number of union locals in our different countries that are made up of indigenous educators. And we know the AIM, American Indian Movement, started in Minnesota. We know how the community is being targeted. I know in Canada, there's something, was it Starlight Tours?
Yes,
Yeah.
they are doing that here. It's interesting you bring up AIM, and the headquarters are on Franklin Avenue down there, and they have detained multiple indigenous relatives here. The utter irony, the disgrace, the it is such an affront to detain our indigenous relatives and have the audacity to say, even after seeing their tribal identity records, say, we will only allow you to leave this federal building if your tribal leaders broker with us to relinquish sovereignty of your tribe in the state of Minnesota, so that you have the ability to come back on American land. Mind you, Minnesota has the largest urban population of indigenous people in the United States. Little Earth is in the middle of Minneapolis. Every step we take on is Dakota and Lakota land, and not one person in this city is unaware of it. And no affront to anybody. You know how people do, like, I want to do a land acknowledgement. I got to acknowledge my coworker. Like, everybody over here is like straight up indigenous. My husband's indigenous. Like, he's like, I got to go get my paperwork. That they've offering free identity clinics because I'm walking around with my passport, my freedom papers. My freedom papers. This is where Dred Scott was held in slavery and said the other black people are in Minnesota are free. In 1857, I want my freedom, and the Judge Tandy said there is no rights that a Negro shall have that a white man is bound to honor. That happened in Minnesota. That happened right here in Minneapolis. And that is why the Civil War started, because that said that no black person, whether free or enslaved, as long as they hit the North, if a white paddy roller, a slave catcher, got you, they could take you back down south and put you in slavery. It didn't matter where you were. You could be in New York. You could be in New Jersey. You could be in anywhere. If I grabbed you and took you back down south, you could be a slave. That started in Minnesota. I don't know what, I'm not even religious, but I don't know what God was thinking when he brought me to this state and why Minnesota is constantly in the attention of the world. But they picked the wrong nigga to fuck with now, because I will die first before I let them take away the rights that my people have bled and slaved and fought for 400 years on this continent. They picked the wrong city. They picked the wrong state. They picked the wrong nation. They picked the wrong time. They picked the wrong place in history. We will fight and we will win for our students, for the families, for our communities, for La Raza, for everybody. We're going to fight and we're going to win, y'all. We're going to win.
Thank you, Marcia. Very powerful.
Mother's name is Juanita. She calls me Marcia when she's
really appreciate you taking the time to share this with us today. And we also wish you the best of luck this afternoon. I'm hoping you don't get arrested, but I know you're ready to do what it takes.
I haven't yet, so we'll see.